This is Darth Brimstone, and I am here with the spoiler review of Rebel Moon. So, I'm going to preface this with I actually did like this movie. And it's not because it was a masterpiece of film or a unbelievably wonderful story driven masterpiece. I liked the movie. I don't know really how to explain it. That has a lot of flaws. It also has a lot of positives, but I liked it. So, I am not a Zack Snyder fanboy. I am not a Zack Snyder hater. I love some of his films. I hate others. So, and I just and I'm indifferent to a few to a couple of more. So, we start on the outer reaches on an outer reaches farming planet. And Korra, who used to be a warrior for the evil empire's space Nazis known as the Mother World. And the Mother World comes to Korra's home, and they try to take all their. They originally come as friends with some creepy hugging and some nice soft words from this guy. Now, this guy is the evil admiral. His name is Admiral. Why can't I remember his name? Um, Admiral Atticus. That was it. Sorry, I kind of lost it in my notes there. So, Admiral Atticus comes in and he decides to play friendly and try and find out how much grain they make. And so he's brutal, he's creepy, he's vicious, and honestly, I kind of liked it. He, he did a really good job on that. For what he was given, he wasn't given a whole lot of great lines or anything along those lines because there wasn't a whole lot of great dialogue in this. Now, it was good. It was all right dialogue. It wasn't bad. Um, but it was mediocre. Now, Zack Snyder's not exactly known for his dialogue. So, you can't say, like, you didn't expect these things. We expect a visually stunning film from Zack Snyder. And that's what we got. We really did. So they come to this little farming community and they say, hey, you know what? We'll take your excess grain. And you know what? If you work with us, we'll give you mechanical equipment, farming equipment, harvesters, and all this stuff. Sorry. And they say, no, we don't want it. You know what? Part of our part of our culture is farming by hand. It ties us to the land. And apparently, and they also welcome the harvest with sex and booze and party it up like almost like space Vikings. No joke. That's pretty much what they are. They're space Vikings or space Norsemen. Like that's the kind of culture we're talking about. And the evil empire are basically Nazis. So they say no thank you, and they go over to Gunner because Gunner basically put himself out there as some. Where is Gunner here? That's Korra, Nemesis. Okay, Gunner is the guy standing next to Korra in this picture. So he kind of plays like the naive guy who makes mistakes through this movie, and by the end they treat him like the hero. So here now we're going to go into the positives and negatives. So I'm going to start with the negatives because I'm sure some of the people that are coming to this are saying, "Oh, I want to know what was wrong with this movie because of all the bad reviews." So, all right, we'll just drop right into that shit. Um, the dialogue. The dialogue was brutal in spots. Okay, absolutely bloody brutal in spots. The exposition in this was also brutal in spots. Um, Especially that one scene with Cora, where she comes in and the guy. It looks like he's about to come in, come to Cora, and they're gonna talk, and maybe they're gonna have a little handsy pansy here and there, and instead she goes on like a 5, 6, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 7 minute exposition dump of her life story. And you will see this a few times through this film. There will be exposition dumps galore. The only exposition dump I actually liked was done by Jimmy, who we never really got to see a lot of. And he's the one character I wanted to see a lot of. Well, actually, I wanted to see more of all of these characters, but he was the character I really wanted to see more of. And that is because the character is so interesting. And he was played by Anthony Hopkins, and that voice just smooth as silk, baby. So, another con, lack of character development. That led right into it with Jimmy, because Jimmy had like a pretty good little exposition dump, and then we barely saw him again. Except for the one scene where he goes and breaks his not killing code. Now, what is this movie like? Well, it is like a cross between Dune, Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, Star Wars, and on that one planet, maybe a little bit of Blade Runner. And there's nothing wrong with that. All of those movies borrowed from something really well done. But they always did it with a great story. And Zack Snyder built up the story a little bit, but he didn't build up the characters enough. Now, slow mo. This is going to be both in the positive and negative column for Zack Snyder, as usual. Slow mo was too much at times. It took away from some of the action scenes. However, it added greatly to most of the other action scenes. So, I'll call slow mo a draw in here. So, it's a negative and a positive. So we are reminded of too many films in this, truly. So for those who are looking for flaws in this movie, oh baby, are they gonna find them? Now for the positives. The world building and setup was beautiful. Absolutely magnificent to watch. The cast was unbelievable. You had Sophia Boutella as Cora, and I really loved her as an actress and a character in this. She was the one that got the most development. Still not enough, but she got some really good character development. Jimon Hunsu, he played Titus, and General Titus was I liked the character, but we didn't really get to see much of him, and we really didn't get to know much of him. And that dialogue when they got back to the farming community at the end was just fucking brutal. Nobody fucking talks like that. Um, but I liked it. Atticus Noble, General Admiral Atticus, played by Ed Skrein, was a brutal villain, and I loved it. Um, Gunner Michael Huisman, he was a friggin' moron, um, and I never saw why he changed, other than the leader of that community being killed. Like, okay, he made a mistake, but I didn't see him do much to point out why like, how he changed. I really didn't. Like, okay, he was a coward for most of it. Yeah, okay. But why was he a hero at the end? Um, Beduna as Nemesis, interesting character. I really liked where they were going with it, but they didn't build her up. Not enough. Ray Fisher as Darian Bloodaxe. I loved that character. They didn't develop him enough, but for some reason I liked it. And we're not getting him back. He died doing a flying dive at a ship, trying to stab the pilot through the window, and got shot twice, and still stabbed the guy, and then he died. So he ain't coming back. Sorry. Uh, Kai Charlie Hunnam, love him. That honestly, that was one of the characters I really liked. Okay, you know what? His turn at the end wasn't really a shock. Um, yeah, maybe it didn't set the world on fire, but you know what? I liked it. Devra, she plays the sister of Blood Axe for the Resistance or Rebellion or yeah Rebellion. Let's call them the Rebellion. Um, she was good. I liked her. Jenna Malone as Harmata was interesting. Um, they were all really. They all had the potential to be really good characters, but they weren't built up enough. So visually, it was stunning, as we expect from a Zack Snyder movie. It it was Zack Snyder at his best at times, and it was Zack Snyder giving in to some of his not so good impulses at times. Don't if you go in expecting an epic saga, masterful proportions, well, you know what? You're you're gonna get some of that, but you're not gonna get all of that. So I did love this movie. It wasn't fantastic on an epic scale, but it was good. Now, his world building was good. Really, he started setting up something really epic here. And you know what? If the Snyder Cut fills in a lot of these character gaps, it's going to be a phenomenal film. Right now, it's just a good one. Actually, it's a mid good one. If I really have to be honest here, it is a mid good film. But I love it. I can't explain it. I can't quantify it. Something did irritate me that I should have put in the negatives column that I forgot to, and that was when Atticus was revived at the end of it after after they fucking killed him. Now, the reason why I find this halfway acceptable is the fact that the equipment that they used to bring him back at the end, like that stuff filled a room. So this isn't going to be some freaking back to tank that you can drop somebody in and bring them back from the dead. This thing is looks like it was designed so it looks like it's for the elites of that society. So all in all, I am giving this movie a 7 out of 10. It would have been a lot higher. I was going 8.5 or whatever after my first watch through. Then again, I was pretty damn exhausted. And it was about 3 in the morning when I finished watching it. And then I threw together that other video. And I was even more tired when I was done, and my throat is sore, and I think I have a cold. But here we are doing the extended review. And I wanted to get this out before Christmas for you guys, so bear with me if it's not perfect. Now, let's just make sure I got all the bits and bobs in here. Da 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 da. I think we got it. So, there it is. Like, this is Rebel Moon. And it's good. I like it. Now, this is the one character I really wish we got a lot more of. And this is Anthony Hopkins' Jimmy. He had that one scene where he had a bit of an exposition dump, but he told a really good story. Actually, you know what? That's what I will call those exposition dumps. Those exposition dumps were story time. It was story time in the movie theater. And they were written like stories. Like, I was born as a child of war, and they raised me to have no hearth and no home and no emotion. Nobody talks like that, okay? Like, these were the exposition dumps I was talking about. But when Anthony Hopkins does it in his voice, you don't mind it. So, okay. Now, for this, I'm going to cover these from left to right. Nemesis. Like, you hardly got to know her. Character's kind of a cool idea, though. Next to her, you have Darian Bloodaxe. And I honestly loved this guy. Too bad he's dead in this. Um, the guy next to him is a prince. That's revealed to us. His name is Tarek. He's played by Stas Nair. And He is such a cool character. He's the one that flies the bird. Um, Gunner, Cora, Kai. So either way, anyway, and that was and the one the guy on the end was General Titus, and I can't I can't remember the name of the other one. I think that was oh well, whatever. It's like she barely spoke. Okay, that character barely spoke, and I'm pretty sure that was I think it was Armada, but Jenna Malone is very very talented, and how you could not have her speak is kind of beyond me, but like other than a couple of lines. But I'm sure we'll probably get more in the Snyder Cut, which leads me to my final con. Don't give us a cut that you are not happy with. If you are making a film, do not give us a cut you are not happy with. Give us your final cut. Do not give us a cut with half the character building cut out. It's basically a highlight reel with a bit of story tossed in. Uh, but the final positive, this movie left me wanting to see more. This movie left me wanting to understand more about this world. This movie left me with a bit of a smile on my face at the end. So I truly enjoyed it. It is a quintessential Zack Snyder movie, warts and all. So, and I did love it, warts and all. Now I'm not gonna say this is a great film. It's a good movie, and if you want to pass 2.5 hours with some friends and watch a nice space epic sci-fi opera, give it a watch. It's a good movie. It's just not a fantastic movie like Zack Snyder, like you've come to sometimes expect from Zack Snyder and sometimes not expect from Zack Snyder. So enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a Happy Holidays, and take care of you and yours. This was the Rebel Moon Review, ladies and gentlemen, and we out.